Hi, and welcome to 108 Healing Senses podcast. My name is Jennifer Taylor, and today I'm very happy to introduce Derek O'Shea. I said that right, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you did.
super. And yeah, I'd love to. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Seems like we've got some similarities in healing journeys and the way we perceive how to find solutions and remedies in life. So I'd love to hear more from you about, your story and what it is that you have to offer for solutions for the world right now.
Okay, so first of all, hello everybody. My name is Derek O'Shea. So I am an energy healer. Mainly I use the technique, the Theta Healing technique. And basically what I do is I help entrepreneurs, visionaries, high achievers, to work through past trauma, to heal from past trauma, okay, quite rapidly so that they can break free from anxiety, break free from imposter syndrome, and really just step into like complete inner peace and self-confidence.
Wonderful. The world needs more of that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it was interesting because you reached out to me, you wanted to come and speak on the podcast. Was there any particular things I know like the world right now seems really chaotic, like to the point where everything's kind of seems upside down and inside out, whilst it's very chaotic outside, there's plenty of people feeling quite chaotic inside. Have there been any particular things? So you mentioned theta healing. Did you want to explain more about what that is and how it can help people?
Yeah, so basically, theta healing or theta healing, whichever way you want to pronounce it, it works perfectly. It's an energy healing modality that basically allows us to release on an energetic level, like so from your subconscious, it allows us to release deep-rooted limiting beliefs. So we all, well, maybe not all of us, but the limiting beliefs are a very popular buzzword nowadays. You know, everybody knows what the limiting beliefs are. Everybody is journaling around this kind of stuff, doing mindset work.
Mm.
But what theta healing does is it helps us to really identify where the limiting beliefs come from in the subconscious. Like, for example, the experiences that you've had throughout the course of your life, mainly in childhood, you know, where we create the beliefs. And then once we identify them, we're able to release them, like actually fully change them and replace them with more positive power and beliefs, empowering belief systems. And when we do that, it creates this healing effect, basically. So the experiences or the trauma that we had that created the beliefs, um, there's no charge to it anymore, you know? It's resolved. So it's like, I mean, essentially, theta healing is a way to basically heal from your past trauma. You know, that's another way of saying it.
Mm.
But yeah, we're really like looking at identifying the deep-rooted subconscious belief systems that you created from that trauma, and then we're releasing it on an energetic level and replacing it with something more useful for you, something that's going to help you more, you know? And when we do that, that creates the transformation. And it's so like it's so rapid, it's really fast, it's astonishingly rapid, you know, how these changes get created when you use this technique. So for me, when I experienced this technique, it was like, and I experienced the transformation from working on myself.
Mm.
I worked on myself for a long time, like for a very long time before I actually decided to like help others with this. But it was just like, wow, this is insane. Like, more people need to know about this, you know?
Yeah.
So it was straight away, it was like, this is what you need to do this, you know? So why
Mm.
not do this? Why not just help people get the same change and results and healing that you got, that you received? Because there's still way too many people that just don't think it's possible to, for example, there's still so many people that don't think that it's possible to be free from that anxiety that they're dealing with every single day. They don't think that it's possible to like feel happier. They just think like, oh, this is it. Like I just have to make the most of it. But that's not what it is. It's just like you actually just have to figure out why you're feeling that way, where it came from, and you can heal it from there and change it. But too many people just don't know that that's possible.
Mm.
So for me, like that's a big part of my why is just getting it out there as much as possible so way more people can know that this is possible,
Mm.
and not only know that it's possible but then experience it. There's nothing like for me, there's nothing better for me than watching a client go from one state to another in session and seeing them have that like that experience where they just feel the relief in their emotions in their body, and they're just like, oh, that feels so good. I feel so much happier. Like I feel so much at peace. Like there's nothing better than watching people have that experience in front of you. It's
Mm.
amazing.
That's beautiful. So, is it a mixture of channeling energy as well as like physically rewriting your scripts, or how?
No, I mean, basically, it's a meditation technique, right? And it's a meditation technique where we use a theta brainwave state. And when we're in this brainwave state, okay, as a practitioner, it allows the practitioner to essentially reprogram the client's subconscious, you know, in an energetic way. So it's not a physical thing. You don't need to be in person with somebody when you're doing this. Like, for example, all my sessions are done online. I have only an online business, and I have clients from all over the world, Australia, the US, the UK, Ireland, and the results they're the same all the way around.
Yeah, it's not dependent on physically being there versus virtually. I think so many people may be used to like, I need to have a physical thing or a physical action in order to have transformation in a
Yeah, no,
transformation. But it's I love this because it makes it so much more graceful for anyone seeking help, that as long as you've got an internet connection, you can connect to the
yeah,
right people at the right time, at the
exactly,
right place, wherever feels comfortable, and get those deep inner changes happening. And so people don't no longer have to be stuck in suffering and pain any longer. It's such an important fact. You don't need to be in pain any longer than you choose.
exactly.
Sometimes it's a necessity, a part of your soul path, but was it Buddha who said suffering is optional, but pain is inevitable in life?
Yeah,
Opposite way round, but it is true. We need challenging times in order to grow and overcome from them, and then find people like yourself, me, and others on this podcast and beyond that are recommended facilitators to work with to really create an amazing shift within yourself.
that's it. Like exactly. Like, and that's one of my favorite things about this work that I do is that I can help someone from anywhere in the world to break free from something,
And
like fast.
have you got any interesting kind of profound stories that, obviously you don't need to say names or anything, but have you seen or any stories that you could kind of share about the transformation that you've seen in others that you've worked with or even within yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like for example, I'll give you like I've had many, many, many like one session wonders. So that's like something where I have helped clients to break free from, let's say, for example, I had one client who suffered very badly with panic attacks. Okay. And in one session, I was able to help this client get to the root of what had triggered off their panic attacks. And
Mm.
when we resolved that root issue, they didn't have them anymore. And I do work a lot with people that are like struggling internally with anxiety. It's just my favorite topic because I love to see people getting the results from it. But like that's just an amazing example. Like I've had clients go from having a weekly panic attacks to having none after our first couple of sessions. I've had clients who have been in therapy for a long, long time,
Mm.
I started working with a particular client who was going to therapy for something traumatic that had happened to them. Like they had a traumatic event that happened to them, and it just brought up a lot of anxiety and panic. But then it also triggered off a lot of their own inner stuff as well.
Mm,
And then we started to work together, and I mean, well, I think we worked together for 3 months, but after our first, I would say after we got halfway through the program together, this client told me that they stopped going to therapy because they were just like, I just don't like, I'm just feel like I'm done with it now because the results that I'm after getting working with you, it's like, I just don't feel like I need to go there every week now and just constantly talk about the same things.
yeah.
And this is very common, like that I'll meet with people who will tell me, "Oh, I've been going to therapy. I've tried therapy for years, and I'm just kind of tired of it. I just don't feel like it's given me. I don't feel like anything is changing." Is what I hear a lot from going to
Yeah.
therapy. And then it's like once we start working together, it's like straight away from the first session, they're feeling the results. You know, I've had clients tell me that they've had better results working with me in less than 5 sessions compared to years in therapy.
Mm,
So that will just give you an example of like how astonishing the transformation is from this.
yeah. This is absolutely like this whole kind of energetic field, which is ancient and kind of coming, it's
Coming
becoming,
back to the forefront of humanity
yes,
right now.
and it's becoming more accepted as well to look at complementary um, therapies, complementary and holistic practices you can include with your other regular things. But it's interesting because you may end up finding that, just like you've had with many of your clients as well, that the things that they'd been doing for years continuously just doesn't work anymore. Like we have to look at other options. What are the other options that can help to change the energy and release that pain that's keeping us trapped in the past? And it's a very valid point about therapy is, you know, whatever you feed will grow, and that includes repeating your problems in
Yeah.
conversations, in therapy. If you're going every single week, I I'm not saying don't, because it is very valuable to speak with someone, but it's certainly useful to start to incorporate other complementary practices and facilitators such as yourself that can help to shift things more quickly, and then you can, have a look at how your life is. Do I need to keep doing that
Okay,
now?
do I need to keep doing this now?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I feel like also that's the thing. That's the reason why I do this work as well, because a lot of people that are going to therapy, maybe they just believe that that's the only option they have right now,
Yeah.
you know?
The only option they know of.
Yeah, it's like they're not
Yeah.
taught, they're not shown anything else. Like they just think everyone's, because I feel like now, like mainstream therapy is quite mainstream. It's like go to therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy, you know? So therapy has become more mainstream where like many, many years ago, it was quite taboo and nobody wanted to admit that maybe they needed to go to therapy. But now therapy is more normalized,
Mm,
which that's great. That is great. However, I just feel that it can miss the mark. And I've only because I've seen it and I've heard it from so many of my own clients. I've actually never had therapy before. Um, but it's just from what I see from talking to my own clients. This is what people are telling me, you know? So it's like it just highlights why it's so important that people know that there's more available, you
mm,
know,
yeah.
because it's like there's something else out there for everybody that's going to fit them perfectly. Because here's the thing, going to therapy will probably be the absolute perfect thing for a specific percentage of people. You know, that might be just the thing that they need to to be their like be their, like, let's say their healing source or their source of transformation, you know?
Mm.
But the people that come to me are people that want more. They're like, no, I don't want, I know that, or on some level they feel like there has to be a different way, you
Mm.
know? They
Yeah,
just don't want to do that same week in, week out, talking about the same thing, being re-traumatized, going home, feeling like shit, crying after a therapy session, you know? They're
yeah,
like, no, it has to be, there has to be something else, you know? So
agreed.
that's why I'm here, you know?
Thank you. Thank you. Because we need,
Thank you.
yeah, well, we need more good souls bringing more opportunities for solutions in the world, and anyone that has that and doesn't bring more fear or distortion about how to resolve things, I very happy to back because we need the platform, right?
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to be happy, well, and living in peace and in
Of
love.
course, yeah.
So, for me, that should be the absolute minimum for everyone on earth. But that's what we're aiming towards, when everyone is
Yeah.
able to heal themselves, however long it takes. And it could be
Yep.
this lifetime or it could be in another lifetime for
Yeah.
anyone watching, and they are uh, getting impatient with family members or loved ones that are going through it, and they just won't listen to you, even though you may have a higher vision on and perspective on things, but they will do their best to reject anything that they're not quite ready for. This
Of course.
these can be very challenging times, including when you're going through your own stuff, and then you're also witnessing those that you love also going through their stuff too. So yeah, it's fill your cup up. Fill your cup up.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm. So what other types of challenges do people come to you for, other than the kind of anxiety and panic attacks?
Okay, so that will be like a main umbrella kind of topic, and then I'll have people who I work with a lot of people pleasers that want to break free from being a people pleaser.
Mm.
That's a whole topic, a whole niche in itself. And I really enjoy working with these types of people, people that struggle to say no, that struggle to focus on themselves, put themselves first.
Mm.
I'll get people that want to be able to just be able to say no and really focus on their own needs, because there's too many people pleasers in this reality and they're not living their life for them, you know?
Yeah.
I'll also get quite a lot of people who just generally want to improve their self-confidence. Self-confidence is low. They don't feel like good enough.
Mm.
That's a whole topic in itself, you know.
Yeah.
People that just don't feel good enough. They want to work on like basically just like loving themselves, you know,
Yeah.
being able to just love themselves more.
I suppose because I've gone through that journey myself, also going through the people pleasing, which does come from childhood trauma. However
Of
big or
course.
small the trauma is, it's still a trauma, and I will say that for anyone watching and listening. And do not let anyone trauma shame you that your trauma is less bad than theirs.
It's
That's another thing.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
Every
competition in it. There's
It's
no
not a competition. Yeah. Like
yeah.
whether that's a great point that you bring up, and I would like to highlight that as well. It's like when we mention trauma, it's not like mutually exclusive to just like big traumas like near death experiences or sexual abuse or very bad physical abuse. Like trauma, like childhood trauma is as simple as being laughed at when you were a kid, you know, being mocked and being made fun of and being humiliated. Like that's a trauma to a young kid. Something as simple as being rejected by one of your parents, like, you know, something like that. Like that's the trauma. Like trauma has many, many, many different faces,
Yeah.
as you say, like, and I like to call them small T traumas and big T traumas. So you have your big ones and then you have all your small ones.
Mm.
Like, for example, me, I just had a very huge collection of small traumas, little traumas that just built up over time
Yeah.
that basically like held me back.
Mm.
But yeah, that's a good point to make is that everyone's trauma, no matter what it is completely valid and like important. And yeah, you get to have it.
Yeah. It's really important because I spent many years on the journey to heal myself at a really deep level. And the people that I met along the way, we were all searching for the same thing, kind of. But sometimes people's darkness um, is easy to start to overtake, and then it becomes the victim perpetrator, and they end up becoming the perpetrator rather than being the victim. So that can happen through narcissistic relationships where the victim then starts to pick up the perpetrator's techniques as well in a really like deep traumatic subconscious programming way, because it's such a head mess when you're in those kinds of relationships that if you leave those things unhealed and you're not aware of your actions and your thoughts and your words, that you can end up becoming the very thing that you so disdain, you have such disdain for in the first
Yeah,
place. And that's also part of the healing journey too. You have to face your own shadow,
exactly.
which
Yeah.
brings you to the point where you can say, no, I deserve better. Keyword is no.
Yeah,
Keyword is no. And it really, and when that practice of saying no, saying yes to the things that feel right, but saying no to also the things that don't feel right in the body,
of course. Yeah.
and the gut and the heart. Yeah. So it's an interesting journey. It's challenging. It will keep you on your toes. It will stretch you beyond belief, but then having techniques and practices like theta healing, can help, and future life progression, which is what I do as well. Uh, these kinds of things can help to clear things much quicker, so you stop having to repeat old cycles that keep
So
you
much
stuck.
quicker. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is like one of the key, I would say, one of the key features of the work that I do is that we're getting to the root of a pattern or an issue, and when we resolve it, you can break the pattern for good. That's why it's so powerful. So there's no going back and repeating and going back in again. Like once we can just get to the root and then we can clear it. That's how amazing it is.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's peace on earth. That's how we find the inner peace. I I identify the limiting beliefs and the things that are holding us back, and be able to transmute it in whatever way you feel you're being led to, you're being called to, that inner knowing, oh, I want to work with this person, I want to do this feels right for me. That's that kind of saying yes to the right things and saying no to the things that make you feel bad, drained, exhausted. Also, people that make you feel guilty, that reflect your traumas back to you, that make you
Yeah.
feel bad and siphon your energy. So, I'm very quick to spot and observe those that are not in integrity, and they're starting to play the perpetrator rather than the victim. And that's the kind of awareness I feel is useful information for people going through their self-healing journey actually require, is having the eyes to see what is healthy and what is not.
Exactly, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people can't even recognize what is because it's like normalized. Everything that they're experiencing and going through, it's just like, oh, this is just how life is.
Mm,
But it's not really how life can be. Like, that's just your experience. That's what you believe now.
mm,
So, something you said earlier reminded me of like the overall vision of like, let's say, doing this work. You said that's peace on earth. That's like that's what I see is the end goal of doing this work and getting it to as many people as possible. Because let's say the whole world is awake and open to doing the inner work on themselves in this way with techniques like this. Like, think about the healing effect that will just have on the whole world and the systems in the world. It would be like as you said, it would be like having heaven on earth. Like, it would just be just pure bliss. Like, if
Yeah.
every single person on this planet knew, like, and actively worked on their own stuff, like their own limiting beliefs and healing, it would just be like a paradise.
Yeah.
So this is what I see happening slowly but surely over the years, over time,
Mm. And it's not as fear is the one thing, and overthinking. Fear and overthinking are the two things that stop people from taking action.
Yeah.
They see something, they think, oh, that could be good for me. And then they don't do anything after that. Those patterns is what's going to keep that person stuck, repeating and not changing their habits, not changing the interactions with the world, the knowledge that they're receiving, the energy and effort that they're putting into themselves. But you have to just start small, just small things, even like go and follow Derek, follow me, subscribe
Start with
to this
one thing.
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like really start investing in yourself, invest in knowledge that will help to better you, help to better your family, help to better your community, help to better the world. But that all comes back to you taking self responsibility of yourself, of your emotions, and
Taking an
rewriting,
action.
yeah, making a correction to how you perceive and want to navigate the world, because that inner peace you get will stop people pleasing as well. Like that, all of these steps make you become such a pillar of light. You can't dim that. But you can see why there's been so many challenges to keep people keeping their light dim, because they don't want them to wake up. But we're at a time now where they can't stop it. And it is up to the people's choices whether or not they wish to take a lighter, higher, more graceful, fun, joyful route that is full of peace, or continue the suffering, the pain, reliving trauma, and blaming everyone else for their situations when they have the keys to actually change their world, their life, and everything about them. But it does start from choice.
Yeah, starts with choice. Like, I mean, and just with regards to that, on that choice, you can even just choose to take part in things that are available that are free.
Yeah.
For example, like at the end of this conversation, I'm going to mention a free like energy healing masterclass you can actually sign up for and download and actually experience this work in it, like a whole hour of this work based on the topic of anxiety and releasing anxiety. But that's free. And even if that's the only thing you do and take part in that, that's going to create a massive change in your life. So it's important to just, because I think there can be a lot of people that can be like, oh yeah, but right now I just don't have the money to do that. Yeah, but there's plenty of free resources available for plenty of healing avenues and tools. There's plenty out there that's available to you, that's free, that can get you on your way.
Yeah. And thank you for offering that as an incredible resource for people, because I it doesn't matter how much money you've got in your bank. If you make the choice that you want to heal yourself, you will find guides, you will find information that will help you, will assist you along the way. And as you feel better in yourself, you will actually naturally start to attract more abundance, more opportunities, because you're starting to clear away the limiting beliefs that keep us trapped and on
Exactly.
train tracks that are kind of only headed in one way. And once you get rid of those, at least you're able to transform your beliefs into something that is far more open to possibility and in it more of an abundance vibration. Doors will begin to open. You'll just, synchronistically find this video. You'll hear
Yeah,
messages from other people and guides that have gone through it. They're authentic. They've gone through their own darkness. They've come out the other side. They've got the tools. They're authentic, and they've got solutions that actually work. Yeah.
that's exactly it. You just have to make a choice. You have to decide that you want to change this. And once you decide and take that forced action towards it, then the universe will just open up the path to getting you there step by step. So, yeah, that was beautifully explained. That's exactly what happened. And once you actually start doing this work and clearing out the energies that are weighing you down, the subconscious beliefs that are holding you back. Once you start releasing them and healing from your past trauma, what you're doing is you're emptying, you're clearing out stuff. So you're creating more space.
Mm.
So when you open up that space, that's the space for new things to arrive, new synchronicities, new opportunities, more of like what you actually want. Like, but you have to start making the space, and that's an amazing way to do it is by healing from whatever it is that's kind of heavy on you or weighing
Mm.
you down, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to also say felt when you was talking, like limiting beliefs can come through past lives as well. If you're open
They
to the
can.
idea of you having multiple lifetimes, um, and the reincarnation process, the things that you haven't dealt with in past lives will continue to follow you into the next life. And that's why this healing work's really important. And this lifetime is like the best opportunity for people to do clearing and elevate their consciousness and kind of release themselves from heavy weights that have been weighing them down for lifetimes. And that's all kind of, victim, um, anything that keeps you in a victim consciousness, basically. So
Basically, yeah.
but they can follow you in, and if it's not your own past life unhealed traumas that continuing into this life for you to resolve, it could be ancestral.
I
uh,
was literally about to say that. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll be
you go.
carrying a lot of ancestral stuff. So basically, like your parents, the beliefs that your parents are carrying, and the traumas that they've gone through will be having an effect on you. What their parents, your grandparents went through, will be affecting you in some type of way. There'll be something in your DNA or in your ancestral line that will be hooked onto you, and their parents, so your like great grandparents, like, and it just keeps going back, like everything through your ancestral line and everything your ancestors went through will be playing a role in your own life too.
Mm,
So that's where a lot of your own beliefs will be coming from too. All in you, it's all like sitting in your DNA.
yeah, yeah, and it's what science what they probably would call like partly junk DNA, which isn't junk. But those are the kind of like so much information that's even stored in our DNA, let alone our own and our families
Yeah.
and the environment that we've been in. It's just there's so much information stored in the body. You can see why people get to a point where they're at a breaking point because they just can't take any more information within themselves because and they're already feeling scattered. They're not integrated as a soul. So when trauma happens, and this is something that is dear to my heart, is soul integration is really powerful. So when traumatic things happens, whatever lifetime it is, and it, again, not to say how big or little it may be, but if it's big enough, your soul from a spiritual level chooses not to experience the pain. So it will remove itself from that situation. And normally your soul should then reintegrate back in, but oftentimes that doesn't happen. So people that experience, and I'll say this as an example, people that have experienced trauma in this lifetime, also another uh, indicator that they've experienced traumas in past lifetimes because the pattern's repeating. Um, And they are, sorry, I've just lost my lost my train of thought. So yeah, the traumas from the past life, that's it. So they fragment off. So that's where dissociation comes in, feeling scattered, not able to see
Yeah,
projects or things through to the end, being in a loving or healing relationship, but used to it being toxic and then self-sabotaging. Those are those limiting beliefs and patterns that will and can come through and will continue to repeat until the soul says no more. I want to live my best possible life, and I want to be complete and within myself and really like on my mission, on my destiny, and be the best possible version of myself. Then
exactly.
yeah, we could do that through so many different aspects of energetic healing, as well as just facing your fears and doing it anyway. That's the best.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's what we're here for, you know? We're here to actually grow and evolve. So it just takes you getting to that point where you're like, okay, I'm ready for something. I'm ready for a change now. But you do have to choose it. No one's gonna come and save you.
Yeah.
So you'll have to just move to the discomfort of just starting,
And it's
you
not
know?
it's not too discomforting for long because you start to
No,
get
it's not. It's like once you just, it's just the discomfort of just taking the step.
yeah.
And once you start, that's it. You're just like, oh my God, why haven't I not been doing this the whole time? You know?
Yeah. And you'll find others that are on a similar journey, that kind of just going for it anyways, even though it might feel challenging and I'm uneasy because this is totally new. But actually, if you turn that anxiety and just say, I am excited, I am excited, I am excited, it that also helps to shift your energy about something. Make it easier to do.
Or if there's anxiety coming up around actually stepping into it, don't worry, I can help you clear it
There you go.
because that's what I do.
Go see Derek. He will help shift and clear and help you get into your best possible space. Yeah, to take on the world and take on yourself. Actually, mostly that's actually the thing. Get to know yourself, and then you won't fear the world outside of yourself because you've conquered the fear within.
Exactly. And that's something that really happens once you start to go inward and do this work. You really start to get to know yourself on a deeper level. You start to realize where you're actually just mimicking other people and other people's patterns and behaviors and beliefs. And then you really start to learn, actually, who am I? You know? That's when you can really start to embrace yourself and love yourself when you
Mm,
do that, you know?
mm. Yeah, you do. You make a point, or even just being aware if you end up mimicking other people's behaviors or words or actions, and just even just having awareness of that is powerful. Then to be like, oh, actually, do I still want to do this, or why am I doing this? Who
Yeah.
am I? Like, what are my words, my actions, my thoughts around this situation? No, it's powerful and profound.
Awareness is the first step. So having the awareness is amazing. It's perfect. However, if you don't do anything with the awareness, you're just gonna go around in circles. You're just gonna know that you're replaying these patterns all the time. But awareness is, I don't like to say this, but awareness is not enough.
No,
Awareness is great, but it's not enough. Once you have the awareness, okay, what can I do with this? What do I need to like? How can I break this pattern now? What modality is available to me? Like, who do I need to work with? You
yeah.
know, and there's an endless list of avenues you can go down. You know, there's an endless list of modalities out there that can help you break free. It's just a matter of finding what works for you,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And keep your, hold yourself in your absolute highest regard.
Of
That's what
course.
that's
Yeah.
what self-love looks like. Even if it's, you know what, instead of spending X amount of money on a heavy weekend of partying, why don't you save that money and put, or a holiday, and put it towards investing within yourself? And so it's like short, it's not even a pain. I'll say short-term pain, long-term gain, because that's kind of what it is,
That
really.
is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, for me, the way I always describe this process, like for example, when people come to work with me, it's like it's not it's it would be very, very short term pain, in the sense that it will feel uncomfortable when we get to the root of something because you'll be feeling it. But once we get to the root, we clear it and release it. So we switch very fast. So, for example, one of the things that I love about this work, and it's one of the things I talk about a lot, is the fact that at the end of all of our sessions, like with me and my clients, they're feeling on top of the world. They're feeling light, they're feeling so peaceful, so confident, so ready, and that's really amazing to me. That's spectacular, because as I mentioned earlier, I've had clients who have come to me and said, yeah, it's so different because um when I've gone to therapy and then at the end of the therapy session, I feel like shit. It's like, okay, the hour is up and then I have to leave and I just leave after opening up this kind of worms and I feel like shit and then I'm just like, oh, I just don't see that as healing. I
No,
just don't.
I
I
don't.
don't I don't call that healing.
Anything that
That's
keeps,
my point of view on that.
yeah, it's not changing the energy.
No, it's not. It's not providing a result, It's not. It's providing plenty of awareness, which, as we said, awareness is great, you know. But okay, how can they change it? How do they change it now? How do they break? How do they actually get rid of it now?
Yeah. Well,
So
it's
that's what people come to me for, is when they're at that point where they're like, okay, I know what this is now, but now I'm done with it. Now I want to change it. I want the solution. I want to be free from it. I'm just like, okay, perfect. Let's do it.
you're ready. Let's do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's the people I love to work with.
yes, absolutely. And it is exciting. And just it's the just thinking that actually life can and will be so much sweeter once I do the inner work part, and when there's opportunities to do deep healing, deep transformational healing around situations that have happened in the past, that will catapult you in your career, your love life, your health, your abundance levels, your creativity, your destiny will really start to bloom. And it's really exciting. That's why I get excited for people, because it's the potential for them to
Yeah,
step into their best possible selves, which is what I'm all about. Like, don't need to be stuck in pain and suffering. Like, do what you need to do when you need to do it, take action, and have the best possible life because you deserve it. You deserve it.
exactly.
No one, it doesn't matter what you have done in the past, things can always be remedied, resolved, and transmuted, and life can be good again. And having a purpose, and even if that purpose is just make me the purpose, make my purpose is to make me the best possible version of myself at whatever pace that might be, but you have to take action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the most important part, is that you literally have to take action.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting here, let's say if you're somebody that's watching this and you're like, oh, okay, wow, that sounds amazing. That seems like something that I need to do. Right. That's amazing, but you need to take a next step now. You need to take an action.
So, tell us more about your, would you like to tell us more about your free workshop? Is this a
Yeah,
good time to
so
flow into it?
yeah, perfect. So This is an hour long online energy healing masterclass. Basically, the topic of this masterclass was how to break free from your anxiety and feel at peace, because that's one of the areas that I really specialize in. And basically, what it is, it's an interactive workshop where I basically explain to people, I give people examples of what could be contributing to their anxiety, where it comes from. I talk about the like beliefs and stuff and our past traumas, etc. And then there is a very, 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 very powerful guided meditation and group energy clearance session within this workshop that actually helps you to release past trauma and reprogram your subconscious to have like more peace and more confidence already. Like, so just watching this masterclass will give you a transformation. You know, it's going to create some healing for you already. If that's the only thing you do, if that's the only thing you do, it will create change for you, you know?
Fabulous.
So by all means, sign up for it.
And I look forward to, I think I have signed up for it. I'm not sure I've done it yet, or if it was a live thing. I remember typing in the other night. But yeah, I look forward to completing it as well. So it doesn't actually matter where you are on your journey, you know, even if you have resolved a lot of things, it's still, if you feel pulled to do master classes or work with certain people, it will, you know, it will always add another layer of kind of sparkles on your life. But at
Exactly. Yeah.
least we're relieved. Yeah.
And even if you have done plenty of work, but you haven't tried this technique, I would say definitely do it then, because you'll be surprised at what you haven't cleared and what you will feel from taking part in this masterclass.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So do you have any final parting words before we complete the session today? And you can tell us about
Just
where people can contact you as well.
Just thank you so much for having me. This has been an amazing conversation. Anybody watching and wants to connect, please connect with me on Instagram. I'm a lot mainly on Instagram. The my handle is at Derek O'Shea underscore 1111 on Instagram. You can connect with me there. I have tons and tons and tons of content. I have other resources available as well, other free resources, and you can also reach out to me and book a complimentary call with me to see, okay, how can this work fit into my life and how can I support you, you know? So that's also available. So you can do that by just connecting with me on Instagram.
Wonderful. Thank you, Derek. It's been
Thank
a
you.
lovely chat, and I hope and I trust that people watching and the right people will watch this, and
Me
then
too.
they'll find you and be able to resolve the challenges that they're experiencing as well. So happy times.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and so for anyone else still listening, still tuned in, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. I really want this as a platform that can grow to bring more solutions to people, so people stop feeling so helpless, and help people elevate themselves out of feeling like a victim back into becoming their victor self. So
Yeah. Perfect.
wonderful. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all in the next episode.